We'll call the meeting to order anyhow. Let's do the Pledge of Allegiance first, okay? Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, liberty and
justice for all.
For everybody that stood up.
All right.
Oh, we were all.
Good or not. We'll do the roll call now.
Supervisor Grady. Supervisor Rose. Supervisor Gantz.
Was there?
Supervisor Belsky.
Here.
Dave Selfrey is excused. Supervisor Knickie.
Here.
Yashke.
He was on.
He's here. Rodriguez.
Here.
O'Day. Berg.
Happy to be here.
Ron Frederick. You guys just need to make sure you unmute your mic. Ron is here, right?
Did you say John?
No, Ron Frederick.
Ron Frederick, is he on Shen Road?
I see his name on here.
He's trying to get on, I'm sure.
Nudo,
Here.
Franco,
Here.
Lloyd Frederick,
Here.
Mauer,
Here.
Gully,
Here.
Wamble,
He's excused.
Uhas,
Here.
Beth,
Here.
Palmerville,
Here.
Nordigan, Becker,
Here.
Winky.
Mr. Chairman, I did not hear my name called, Terry Rose.
I didn't hear mine either.
Yeah, I called you. I know you guys are here. I was
Okay.
present.
All right. Okay.
We have excused Dave Celebree, Jeff Wamble, and Lon Winky. I didn't receive any notice from him, but he's so far not attending the meeting. So we have 20 present with 3 absent.
What, Winky didn't call or anything?
I did not receive any communication.
I wonder if he's at the job center trying to.
Yeah, I don't know. I asked him if he's going to be here. I haven't heard back yet.
He's not at the job center. I'm at the job center.
Okay. And nobody else there, Jeff? Ron?
Me and Gabe and 2 excellent staff are here.
Okay. All right. Any citizens' comments, Chairman, Clerk?
We had, I electronically emailed the one citizen comment from Harry Waite. I
Okay.
sent that to all the supervisors this morning, approximately 9:30 a.m.
Okay. Just a couple of announcements from my end is Zach Rodriguez has last month donated, actually it was in November, donated to Viper Hockey League at the Recplex. And the month of December is mine, and I donated $100 to the Outreach Center at 63rd and 26th, and $100 to Shalom Center. And at this point, I would like to a moment of silence for Bob Schneider, past county supervisor, and Eugene Bellotti, past county supervisor, and also chairman of the county board too. At this point, I'll entertain any supervisor reports for the committee chairs.
Chairman O'Day, this is Supervisor Belsky. We did have a human services meeting tonight, and until I can put my full meeting notes together, I'd like to defer to next month, but I will highlight that we'll have a resolution coming forward with regard to federal matching funds for, let's see, for Nina and Dustin's group. We talked a little bit about the COVID rollout, foster parent program, youth justice report, racial equity commission. So I'll be formalizing my minutes and getting those to everybody next month.
Okay. I'm assuming Bill Grady isn't here tonight?
Yeah, I was gonna step in and say that he did not respond when I did roll call, and I don't see him on
He
the
said he
list.
was going to be here.
Yeah, I know maybe he's trying to get in or something. I know he had a meeting last night. I don't know if he's going to report anything or not. If he comes in, we'll go back to that. In the meantime, let's go to old business.
Actually, if I can,
Chairman,
bring something,
Mr. Chairman,
Go ahead.
hello.
Uh,
I would like, this isn't
No.
really a report and I don't have a spot on here, but I would like you to put on next month, our next meeting date, the ability to meet back in the cafeteria. I would like that on the agenda for our next meeting. If you would do that for me, I'd appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay.
Hey, Mr. Chairman, this is Supervisor.
Nordigan? Who spoke there, Nordigan or Berg?
This is Berg.
Okay,
The only thing we had on legislative committee is the resolution for virtual citizen comments, and that'll come up tonight. But I also wanted to inform everybody on starting January 18th at 10 p.m. in front of Grace Lutheran Church to support Grace Welcome Center. Alderman Dominic Ruffalo and I will be sleeping outside until for the time period that it takes to be able to fill up their library full of donations of food and specific clothing items. So if anybody wants to swing by and drop stuff off, we'll be sleeping outside until we fill it up. It'll be a drop-off type of service where you just drive up, drop it off. We'll have volunteers to grab what you're donating, and you can drive off and spend the rest of your day. So thank you.
what day is that again?
Starts on January 18th for at least, maximum 3 nights.
Okay, thank you. We'll move into old business.
Terry, did you need to speak? Terry Rose, your mic was on. Do you need to speak?
No.
Okay, all right. Just want to make sure before I move on. All right, old business, resolution 1 reading, resolution 27 from the Human Services Committee, resolution to amend resolution number 92, which amended resolution 150, which created the Kenosha County Health Department, the Kenosha County Board of Health, and the Kenosha County Health Office pursuant to Wisconsin Statute 652 and certain agreements between the City of Kenosha and the County of Kenosha. Committee. Belsky, aye. Decker, aye. Winky excused. Berg, aye. Gully, aye. Beth, aye. And Celebrate, aye.
Supervisor Belsky.
27.
Yes.
Okay, with regard to this resolution, we brought it to the board this past summer. A couple of supervisors had questions. I hope their questions were answered. It's before you tonight. The HSC approved it unanimously, and I hope that you do so as well. This resolution aligns the Board of Health bylaws in accordance with Wisconsin statutes. Thank you.
The motion was seconded by Andy Berg, okay?
Chairman, I have a question.
Any discussion?
Yes. Mr.
Terry,
Chairman.
Rose.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I would like to know and have placed on the record, one, does this change the relationship between the city and county government's participation in the health department in any way? Second, does this change the direction and purpose of the health department in any way? Does it expand or contract its purpose or goals?
Supervisor Rose, it does not. It does not affect the contract that we currently have with the city, nor does it change the overall intent of the board.
So this does not expand their mandate in any way. They will be doing the same thing as they have always done in the past, without any kind of changes.
The only thing that will change is it will address, it'll be in accordance with the state statute. That's the only thing. Otherwise, you're not going to see a significant change. Do I have that correct, Dr. Freiheit?
You do, that's correct.
So we can confidently say that the mandate of the board of the health department is not changing.
The health department is not changing.
All right. So there aren't any new programs here that you're thinking of or new directions. And I ask that because I think it's important to know that up front, not later on.
Nope, no new direction.
All right. With respect to the composition of the health board, that is changing, correct?
Correct.
All right. And specifically, what are those changes?
It's changing to
I couldn't hear
mirror.
almost any of that conversation. Is anybody else having problems with that?
Nope.
No.
Nope.
No.
User error.
It's changing.
Supervisor Norton, you're getting a yellow warning sign on your picture keeps going out, so it might have to do with your internet. Okay.
It's changing to mirror the state statute. So to be more in line with state statute.
Well, yeah, but tell me what that is specifically.
I'm sorry, did somebody else want to? So it's basically just suggesting that every Board of Health in Wisconsin do its best effort to have at least one physician and one nurse composition of the board. Our previous bylaws had increased numbers of physicians and a dentist as part of the requirements, and that doesn't preclude us to have those members. It's just really aligning with the state statutes as far as 9 members representing the diversity of the community, which that is something we do need to do on the Board of Health, and mirroring their requirements for membership.
But why is it, we can certainly do that with the medical, dental, healthcare community. And why is it that we want to include more non-healthcare people when doctors, dentists, chiropractors, et cetera, know more about it? And there's certainly a diverse group of healthcare personnel there to go to. Why do we want to shift?
If I could respond to Supervisor Rose, if you think about the Board of Health, it had veterinary doctors on, and I think what the new bylaws are intending to do is make it more rounded with health services for our community.
That's all for now, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Anybody else? Any other discussion? Hearing none, we'll take a vote. We'll do a roll call vote. All those in favor, yes. Anybody declaring no?
How you do that?
Yeah.
I'm going to call out the name.
She's gonna call it out.
I just wanted to know, Supervisor Nordigan, you weren't looking to speak on that, were you? I just don't want anybody to get missed. I saw your name pop up, so.
Sorry, no, I was having some trouble here. I missed
Okay.
almost the entire conversation, but I read the
Okay.
resolution, so I'm prepared to vote.
Okay, all right. And I don't see that Supervisor Grady has joined the meeting yet.
He said he will be joining. I sent him a message.
Okay.
Yeah, and myself, I'm present. I was 3 minutes late.
Who's that?
Lon Winky.
Yeah, I have Lon marked as present now.
Okay.
I saw him on there. Okay, I'm gonna call out the names. Supervisor Rose,
Yes,
Nance,
yes.
No.
Belsky,
Yes.
Kavicki,
Yes.
Ashke,
Yes.
Rodriguez,
No.
O'Day,
Yes.
Berg,
Yes.
Ron Frederick, can anybody hear Ron?
Where did Boyd go?
No, I'm looking for Ron.
Oh, Ron?
He was here.
I guess not.
Yeah, okay, I hear you, Ron. Are you,
Yes.
There he is.
yes, okay.
Yes.
Nudo,
No.
Franco,
Yes.
Boyd Frederick,
Yes.
Mauer,
No.
Gully,
Yes.
Uhas,
Yes.
Beth,
Yes.
Palmaville,
Yes.
Nordigan, Becker,
No.
Winky.
No.
With 7 noes and 13,
Motion passes. New business?
new business, resolution 1 reading, 59 from the Human Services Committee, a resolution supporting the Commitment to Veteran Support and Outreach Act. The Human Services Committee, Belsky, aye. Celebrity, aye. Winky, aye. Berg, aye. Beth, aye. Gully, aye. And Decker, aye.
I have a motion from Supervisor Belsky
Motion to move?
and a second by Supervisor Berg. Supervisor Belsky.
I will refer this to Vice Chair Berg to speak to.
I was hoping I had the subject matter expert, SME, Mr. Ali Nelson on here tonight, but I don't, so I'll wing it. There is a legislation in Congress and the Senate known as the Commitment to Veteran Support and Outreach Act. What it's looking at is there's approximately 20 veterans that commit suicide daily. Of those 20 veterans daily, there's an average of 14 of those 20 that are not involved with the VA system. So therefore, they're not aware, technically aware through the VA of services such as mental health services, service-connected disability and pension benefits, VA home loans, educational benefits, and job placement assistance. The act that's in the Senate and Congress is asking for $50 billion over the next 5 years to be distributed out to CVSOs and TVSOs throughout the country. So it's not just Wisconsin, but it's throughout the country. So that there can be better outreach for those counties. And those are the counties that don't have a TVSO or CVSO are going to be, it should be prioritized so that they get more of the money, because based on counties that don't have a lot, that have a lot of outreach already, I can tell you from personal experience, I know I have veterans in my district, and I've gone to their door multiple times. They just will not talk to me. They're also not enrolled. So I know that there's an issue with veterans being enrolled, but we can't just leave them to the side. We need to continue to push to try to get them enrolled in the services so that we can hopefully decrease this number from 14 or from 20 veterans a day that are committing suicide to less than that. So I look for your support. Thank you.
Thank you. Any discussion on the resolution?
Mr. Chairman,
Who's speaking?
I am Jeff.
Go ahead,
Thank you.
Mr.
It usually when we send off these resolutions in support of something through Congress, we put on there who we're going to send it to. Is this basically just going to all of our representatives?
It is. On the final, be it further resolved, it's going to all Wisconsin counties, Kenosha County Veterans Service Officer, the County Veteran Service Officer Association, the State Wisconsin Department of Veterans Affairs, National Association of Counties, NACO, the National Association of County Veteran Service Officers, Congressman Brian Stiles, Senators Baldwin and Johnson.
Because the reason I ask that is, I think when we send stuff up, to make sure it's not just being put in a pile somewhere, we should ask them to respond that they received it and anything they have to say in response to it when we send it to our representatives. Because for years and years and years, the 14 I've been on the board, we send stuff up and that's it. It's like flying a paper airplane off and not knowing what goes on with it. I would like to see us have a, hey, you received this and this is where we stand on it or something like that. Is there any way that the legislative committee could look into that or somebody? Because that to me seems like if we're going to take the time to meet on something and talk about it, we should at least know that somebody on the other end is listening. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm not opposed to that at all, and I think that sets a good precedent for resolutions in the future. Reggie, what do you think is the best way to put some sort of amendment or actionable item to that?
Well, as you guys get from me sometimes resolutions from other counties, I'm not sure what you guys do with them. And, that I have to pass them on to you. We could request when we send it, if we design an email that states that we're requesting a response, something that is worded to there's some accountability to or responsibility to having received and read this, and if they have any input, if someone wants to put something like that together, we can send that out with, when we send the resolution out to all of those places. I don't know how you would pretty much mandate that they respond to it. Do you understand?
Mr. Chairman, I'm not asking to send it off to other counties or even those veterans organizations that Supervisor Berg listed. If they get it and don't want to do anything with it, that's their prerogative. But our representatives, they should rely on the people who are closest to their constituents, and that's us. So all I want is for our representatives in Congress, state and federal representatives, to acknowledge that we received something that is important to us. That should not be hard to do. I don't care about whether other counties look at it or, we could certainly send it to them. And we can't mandate anything, but we could certainly call their office if they're not responding and say, hey, are you getting this stuff? I mean, I just think if we're going to take the time to put the effort in to come up with something, somebody should be looking at it.
Supervisor Gens, we would be willing to do that and send it as separately to the people you're mentioning, the local, our state legislators and Congress, and that with an email asking for a response and a reply so that they acknowledge, so that we're acknowledged. We can do that.
Great. And then I would like to know somehow, either, through the legislative committee or through the board in a report, when we send this stuff up, who's not responding to us so that we can call them and ask them why.
Okay, if I include in the email for them to reply to all, that might be helpful, then they'll be able to, because I'll send it, when we send it, we'll send it to the county board as well. And then if they do reply to all, they can get back to.
Did Ron Frederick want to talk?
No.
Okay.
And just for the record, Supervisor Grady is in attendance.
Okay. Any other discussion on that resolution? Seeing none, ready to take a roll call vote?
Real quick, Supervisor Gens
Who-
and Supervisor Frederick.
What? Yes.
We can actually get a list of staffers who are assigned to certain topics, and we can get responses from them and to find out if they've received it and their responses to what we've sent them. That can be easily done.
Great, Supervisor Boyd.
Thank you. Are we ready for a vote now?
All right.
All right, let's go. Roll call.
Brady. Supervisor Grady.
Aye.
Rose.
Yes.
Gens. Supervisor Gens.
Yes, 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 yes.
Belsky.
Yes.
Kubicki.
Yes.
Yashki.
Yes.
Rodriguez.
Yes.
O'Day.
Yes.
Berg.
Yes.
Ron Frederick.
Yes.
Nudo.
Yes.
Franco.
Yes.
Boyd Frederick.
Yes.
Mauer.
Yes.
Dolly.
Yes.
Duhas.
Aye.
Beth.
Yes.
Palmaville.
Aye.
Nordigan.
Where did it go?
Nordigan, are you there?
Aye.
Decker.
Yes.
Winky.
Yes.
It passes unanimously.
Thank you.
Resolution 60 from the Human Services Committee, a resolution to approve the reappointment of Mr. Benjamin Harbach to the Kenosha County Board of Administrative Appeals. From the Human Services Committee, Belsky, aye. Celebrity, aye. Winky, aye. Berg, aye. Beth, aye. Gully, aye. Decker, aye.
Supervisor Belsky.
I move resolution.
It's been moved by Supervisor Belsky and a second by Supervisor Beth. Supervisor Belsky.
The Human Services Committee approved the reappointment of Mr. Benjamin Harbach to the Kenosha County Board of Administrative Appeals based on his qualifications. We ask for your vote as well.
Any discussion? Any discussion? Hearing none, ready for a vote. Take a roll call vote.
Supervisor
Chairman,
Nudo, were you looking
do we
to
have to
speak?
roll call everything?
No. I don't think so.
I mean,
All right.
if somebody has an objection, they could just say no or roll call.
There's a reason why I'm doing it, Jeff, okay? Taking a roll call vote. Move
Okay,
on.
roll call on.
Mr. Chairman, did anybody second the motion? I didn't hear anybody second it.
It was seconded by Supervisor Beth.
Thank you.
Roll call on resolution 60. Ricky.
Yes.
Rose.
Yes.
Gens.
Yes.
Belsky.
Yes.
Kubicki.
Yes.
Yashki.
Yes.
Rodriguez.
Is there a way to make the unmute stay on your?
Supervisor Rodriguez.
Yes.
O'Day.
Yes.
Berg.
Yes.
Ron Frederick.
Yes.
Nudo.
No.
Franco. Supervisor Franco. Supervisor Franco?
Can you hear me?
I can now. What is your vote, sir?
Yes.
Thank you. Boyd Frederick,
Yes.
Mauer,
Yes.
Gully,
Yes.
Wamble, whoops, sorry. Uhas,
Aye.
Beth,
Yes.
Palmville,
Yes.
Nordigan,
Aye.
Decker,
Yes.
Winky.
Yes.
Motion passes. Thank you.
Resolution 61 from the Human Services Committee, a resolution to approve the reappointment of Mr. Charles Burmeister to Kenosha County Veteran Service Commission. From the Human Services Committee, Belsky, aye. Celebrity, aye. Winky, aye. Berg, aye. Beth, aye. Gully, aye. Decker, aye.
Supervisor Belsky.
I move resolution 61.
A motion by Supervisor Belsky and a second by Supervisor Gully. Supervisor Belsky.
The Human Services Committee approved the reappointment of Mr. Charles Burmeister to the Kenosha County Veterans Service Commission. Based on his qualifications, we ask for your vote this evening.
Any discussion on the resolution? Any discussion? Seeing none, we'll take a vote. Roll call vote, please.
Supervisor Grady,
Aye.
Rose,
Yes.
Gantz,
Yes.
Belsky,
Yes.
Kubicki,
Yes.
Yashki,
Yes.
Rodriguez, Supervisor Rodriguez,
Yes.
thank you. O'Day,
Yes.
Berg,
Yes.
Ron Frederick,
Yes.
Nudo,
No.
Franco,
Yes.
Thank you. Boyd Frederick,
Aye.
Mauer,
Yes.
Gully,
Yes.
Uhas,
Aye.
Beth,
Yes.
Palmville,
Aye.
Nordigan, Decker,
Aye.
Winky.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion carries.
Resolution 62 from the Legislative Committee, a resolution regarding citizens' virtual comments. From the Legislative Committee, Berg, aye. Kubicki, aye. Winky, aye. Boyd Frederick, aye. Mauer, aye. Beth, aye. Nordigan, aye.
Supervisor Berg.
I move resolution 62.
The motion by Supervisor Berg, a second by Supervisor Rose. Supervisor Berg.
This is obviously a resolution approving citizen virtual comments. For those, everybody should have read it already. There were amendments made to it during legislative committee. Those amendments were that citizens can, personal device, make their comments from any location. They would need to register by 5 p.m. the day prior with the county clerk prior to the board meeting, and virtual citizen comments will be concurrent with county board virtual meetings, meaning that when we as a board end our virtual meetings, citizen comments will also end virtually.
Mr. Chairman.
Any discussion? Go ahead.
Chairman.
Supervisor Rose.
All right, thank you. This resolution, I think, should be pointed out. The regular rules of the county board with respect to citizen comments would be respected. So that if a citizen making comments were out of order, either by what they say, personal comments, time limits, that sort of thing, the chair could easily control it by cutting them off. But it does allow for better participation and our ability to hear what citizens have to say orally as opposed to a written comment to the board.
if I can add to Supervisor Rose's statements, there are logistical issues to that, as Sean will speak to if I'm wrong. If he makes the chairman the host, Sean no longer has commitment or has hosting abilities anymore. So the discussion was that there would be the time limit, and that time limit would end when they would be stopped. Their comments would no longer continue based on that time limit. Now, if we wanted to add in, language or anything like that, in terms of curse words or anything like that, cuss words, submit those words to Sean, I guess. But correct me if I'm wrong, Sean, if you give up hosting abilities, that means that Chairman O'Day needs to then keep tabs of time and all that.
Yeah, yes, we wouldn't be able to maintain the normal controls of the meeting. And if at any point we're instructed to end a comments due to whatever reason, we would certainly be able to do that. It would probably be more effective for running the meeting that way.
Okay.
Chairman? Hello?
Yes.
So in other words, IT is going to control running the meeting? I mean, as far as citizens' comments, who can talk, who can't, how long? I mean, are their devices going to then be shut off, or can they re-enter our conversations, or how? I mean, this is why I think we should meet in person. This is why I think that, we get a lot more done as a board, and we can talk together and figure things out better when we're in person together. And we also can serve the public, our constituents, and the people who want to make citizens' comments better if we're in person. This to me sounds like we can't even hardly take a vote with people coming in and out of this, and we're going to deal with citizens' comments. What happens when they get upset, because they're cut off or something else? I mean, I'm going to vote no on this because of the logistics, and I think we should meet in person. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, if I may, Supervisor Rodriguez.
Supervisor Rodriguez.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Through the chair to Supervisor Berg, or anybody else, really, maybe Corp Counsel. Do we need to add language into this resolution? I mean, could the chairman not direct Sean to cut somebody off if they become vulgar or are directing comments? Like Supervisor Rose stated, our normal citizens comments rules are still there. That ordinance doesn't go away. Those rules of our procedure still exist. And in an in-person meeting, it would be the chairman who would cut somebody off, then, so to speak. So I guess I don't think, and maybe I'm wrong, somebody can answer this, we don't need to add additional language and kind of muddy the water, so to speak, make it more confusing.
Right. I mean, to me, that makes sense. Like, if everybody practices right now, pick a person on your board and tap on them, and you get an option to private chat or chat with everybody. If you private chat, if the chairman wants to private chat with Sean, all he has to do is tap his face and hit private chat, and you can send him a message, hey, end this meeting, and then send it.
Well, I don't even think that's needed. I mean, Mr. Chair, just like in a regular meeting, you could just ask Sean, hey, mute that person, cut him off, whatever the case is. If it gets to be vulgar or they're going over their time or whatever the case is.
That
Sean, is so in that situation, when we have citizen comments on here, what is the logistics of that? Is it still basically open? Anybody on the panel can unmute and mute as they want, as they please?
So as far as the meeting, just a couple of things. One, as far as the meeting goes, control of the meeting isn't IT. We're maintaining technology control of the WebEx functionality. we aren't taking over the meeting. That's still Chairman O'Day who will do that. We would mute someone when they, at any point we are instructed to, and there's levels of participation in the meeting. So anyone that would register themselves for public comments, they would have the opportunity when called on to unmute and add their comments. And after their comments were done, they would be moved to become, it's called an attendee. And at that time, a person has no ability to unmute or continue to participate in the meeting in any way other than just listening. So they couldn't do anything to continue participating. And if you ever wanted to ask them to participate again, we could always re-promote them to become a participant. But it's that kind of logistics of the technology that we're recommending that IT stay the host. But I think Supervisor Rodriguez pointed out that in a regular meeting, Supervisor O'Day would instruct anyone making public comments that their time was expired, and it would be no different. Or if they're out of order or whatever, all that would remain. All IT would do is click the buttons.
Correct. Any other discussion?
Chairman O'Day, I have a question. This is Supervisor Decker.
Go ahead, Deckers.
Yeah, on this, I guess it's not specifically worded, but we talk about someone being able to give citizen comments from their own personal device at wherever they're at. Does this also set up so if someone does not have access to the internet, that they can go somewhere and the county will have something set up for citizen comments for them?
I believe that was discussed with Sean and Supervisor Berg, was it not?
There was discussion on that, but the last I heard it was left at that it would be people would need to would not have access to the county facility for that.
That answer your question?
Yeah, I guess why is that? I mean, we have supervisors, I'm assuming, that are at a county facility right now, logged in here. Why can't we allow citizens to do that? If they were to, when they need to register per this resolution, say that they need access.
It would be just following the intent of moving the meetings to become virtual and not creating a large group or a large congregation of people, which could very easily happen in that type of an instance. So that was why it was not included.
Okay, thank you.
If I may, Mr. Chair, Supervisor Rodriguez again.
Supervisor Rodriguez.
Through the chair to Sean. Sean, if somebody doesn't have internet access, would they be able to phone in using a home phone or cell phone? And
yes, we could absolutely accommodate that.
Okay, that's all. Thank you.
So, any other discussion? Seeing none, I think we're ready for a vote then. We'll do a roll call. Jeff, be alert.
Brady,
Aye.
Rose,
Yes.
Gantz.
Oh,
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
no,
Did you say no?
I did say no.
Okay, now I heard you.
Good.
Belsky,
Yes.
Kubicki,
Yes.
Yashki,
Yes.
Rodriguez,
Yes.
O'Day,
Yes.
Berg,
Yes.
Don Frederick,
Yes.
Nudo,
No.
Franco,
Yes.
Boyd Frederick,
Yes.
Mauer,
Yes.
Scully,
Yes.
Uhas,
Aye.
Beth,
Yes.
Palmville,
Aye.
Nordigan,
Aye.
Becker,
Yes.
Winky,
Yes.
Thank you. Motion carries.
Communications from Andy M. Bueller regarding future items scheduled before the Planning and Development and Extension Education Committee.
Receive and file.
Claims 19, Brittany Anderson, vehicle damage.
Refer to Corporation Council.
Claim 20, Emily Bruno, vehicle damage.
Refer to Corporation Council.
21, City of Kenosha versus
Refer to Corporation Council.
medical examiner, vehicle damage.
Refer to Corporation Council.
Number 22, estate of Anthony Hoover, personal injury.
Refer to Corporation Council.
23, Gage Grosskreutz, personal injury.
Refer to Corporation Council.
24, Alyssa Shukar, personal injury.
Refer to Corporation Council.
The approval of the November 17th, 2020 minutes by Supervisor Kadicki.
Mr. Chairman, Terry Rose, before we move off the claims, I think this board ought to reject outright claims 22, 23, and 24. If you've studied those, I don't think that there's any merit whatsoever to them. And I think we should make that very clear to the claimants there, as well as to the general public, that we intend to back our county officials here and reject those claims. And also make very clear to the Corporation Council, as well as the insurance company that represents us, that we do not want to settle those claims in any way, shape, or form. And I would like to move this evening that this board go on record as rejecting claims 22, 23, and 24.
Second.
Joe, is that in order?
I don't think it is. Franz Frederick, I don't think it is.
Joe Cardamone, are you there?
Yeah, sorry, I was having the same difficulty everyone else was trying to figure out how to unmute. I certainly understand the intent as well as the motivation. I will be honest, I believe these have already been tendered to our insurance company, although I don't know that with absolute certainty. I also can advise that while I'm certainly not going to speak about any sort of specifics in any kind of an open meeting or forum, that I have no question in my mind, no doubt whatsoever, that these claims are likely to be disallowed by the insurance company and vigorously defended should a suit be filed following the claim.
So, Mr. Chairman, as I hear it, Mr. Cardamone.
Supervisor Rose, your comments are recorded, and I think we're going to leave it at that. Let the Corporation Council handle the inner workings of the paperwork that they have to deal with.
Well, I think he said that, as I read his statement there, he was saying that you asked, is the motion in order? And I don't think he said he said it was. That's the way I read his remarks, and I think we ought to go on record that we're going to back up our official. These are not the standard type of claims that are submitted to this board, and that we ought to go on record that we reject them outright and make it very clear to the public we're not buying that baloney.
And I would simply respond, Supervisor Rose, that as you're aware, I mean, we do have insurance. We have insurance for a purpose. I agree. These are certainly unusual claims. That doesn't mean that they are incapable of handling them.
Well, is the motion in order or not?
Do we take a vote on it or not?
I don't.
It's a feel-good motion at this point. Am I correct? That we want to say something?
Can I say something?
Who's can I say
This
something?
is Supervisor Franco.
Supervisor Franco.
Yeah, I'm not in any position to vote on the motion one way or the other. I'm not an attorney. This is really the responsibility of Corp Counsel to
Absolutely.
decide. I don't want to get into a middle. I'm not an attorney, so I don't want to be put in a position to vote on this motion one way or the other, regardless of the merit. I think we need to let Corp Counsel do its job and determine where it goes.
Chairman? Mr. Chairman?
Yes, who?
Is Jeff Gens. I see so often, and I have even when I was a city alderman, you get it to the insurance companies and they just settle it up and come back to you and say, hey, we can make this go away for X amount of dollars. And then by that time, what are you supposed to do? So I don't know that Terry's motion is out of order. I'm not an attorney either, but I mean, we certainly don't know the process and whether we're going to get put in a position to kind of have to be moved along with this to make it go away, which would bother me. So I think we got to have further information on this before we turn it over to somebody to maybe negotiate or whatever. So I think that, Supervisor Franco does bring up a point. We're not attorneys, but I like what Supervisor Rose has to say too. So, I don't know. I'm caught in the middle here. I've seen payments just be made to have things go away when I don't believe those payments should have been made.
I'm not an insurance, or I'm not a lawyer, so I'm not going to go either way with this. I let the Corporation Counsel work with the insurance companies and come up with whatever they want. Whether these have any merit or not is not in our preview.
Point of information, Mr. Chair, Supervisor Rodriguez.
Supervisor Rodriguez, you have a question?
Yeah, have we gotten an answer? And excuse me if I've missed it, but is the motion in order, yes or no?
I don't know.
I'm continuing.
I'd like to rule that out of order, but I'm not sure what the Corporation Counsel is going to do with it. If we want to go ahead and vote for it, let's vote for it either way. I don't care.
Well,
it could be in order, it could not be in order.
May I you have the floor?
Isn't Supervisor Rodriguez asking for a question from Cardamom?
For an answer here.
Yes.
All right.
And I'm trying to find one. I appreciate very much the patience of the board.
If I may, this is Berg. While Corporation Counsel is finding that, I'm not going to support it. A, we're not attorneys. B, we're not insurance adjusters. C, lives were taken, people were hurt. Something's going to happen to it, but it's not our position to be making the judgments on whether we're going to pay somebody or not pay somebody because they lost a loved one or they have a loved one that's injured for the rest of their lives. Whether it's in order or out of order, I'm not going to be supporting the motion.
Tell you that it wasn't Kenosha County's fault that happened.
Exactly. Mr. Chairman, Terry Rose, if I could say something.
Supervisor Rose.
All right, thank you. I don't think you have to be an insurance adjuster and an attorney to know whether or not these three claims have any merit or not. I think it is quite clear here that the sheriff acted with responsibility and those under him as well under that circumstance. And that under no circumstance can you argue or should argue on behalf of the county that we should be responsible for any one of those three claims, the New York Times reporter or the Gage Grazikovich or Mr. Huber's estate. If anybody is responsible, it is certainly not us. And to leave the impression to the public otherwise is irresponsible and foolish. And we ought to make it very clear to Mr. Cardamone and to the insurance company we're not interested in paying and we're interested in fighting. And if those of you who say, well, this is ambivalent, tell me how it is ambivalent. Tell me how you believe perhaps that we are responsible, we the county or the sheriff, in any way, shape, or form are responsible. You tell me that.
I'm not saying anybody's responsible, but I'm saying the 17-year-old was out after curfew and killed 2 people and shot somebody.
That's not.
So
our,
that's not that. We're not.
our
I'm not going to put blame on
responsibility.
anybody. I'm not going to put
That
blame.
is
I'm
not
not
the
going to.
sheriff's responsibility.
I'm not going to put blame
That's
on
not the
anybody
county's
other than that
responsibility.
17-year-old. But I'm going to let the insurance. And the,
Supposed to be debate right now.
Stop.
Mr. Chairman, Ron Frederick would like to talk.
Ron.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody can hear me or not, but
Yes, you can.
I think that what we have to do is refer these to the insurance company. They'll make a decision, and like we've always done, because that's what we pay for insurance for. It's not whether I agree with them or don't agree with them. It's not in my personal opinion one way or the other, but I think it has to go to the insurance company, and the referring to the Corporation Council does that, and let that make the determination. As far as us paying anything, if there was any kind of a settlement to go to the insurance company, and there was some liability for the county that they wanted us to pay, we would refuse to pay it. So let's just let the thing go to the insurance company, like we always do, and go from there. Otherwise, we're just making a statement that doesn't solve anything. Thank you.
Thank you. Joe, did you find anything yet?
I don't know that there's a simple answer from a statutory standpoint. I will tell you that we have insurance, as has been pointed out. We have an insurance company that is supposed to be handling these matters. We tender these matters to them for their review, and they're advising to us as to what to do. I certainly hear the strong sense of members of this board. I would ask that we follow the normal procedure. Let it play out. Again, I can only advise that based on what we've seen with one of the prior matters that has been brought against the county, that it will be vigorously defended, and certainly I don't see any intent at this point to do anything other than that.
Question is whether or not my motion is in order. That's what both Supervisor Rodriguez and I asked. Is it in order or not?
What I'm saying is I don't believe it is in order based on the contractual obligations and relationships that we have with our insurance company.
Good.
So I'm going to rule it out of order.
All right.
Mr. Chairman, this is Supervisor Rodriguez again, if I may.
Yes.
Through the chair to Corporation Council, Joe, I know you don't like to take a common practice of addressing claims in an open session, especially pending litigation. However, I think these three are unique in their circumstances and in their amounts, and I'm not asking that we be updated in an open sense, but as everybody here knows, there is a privilege between Corporation Council and the county board. And that would not be public. I think it's important that we, if we're not going to have this vote tonight, that we remain updated every step of the way as you learn things from the insurance company, Joe, because these are pretty serious allegations that they're claiming here, and I think it's important that all 23 of us know what's going on.
I think your comments are noted correctly, Joe. Moving on.
Approval of the November 17th, 2020 minutes by Supervisor Kubicki.
I move for the, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move the approval of the November 17th, 2020 minutes as presented.
Somebody like to second that?
Ron, got it.
Second by Ron Frederick.
Ron Frederick, okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Move we adjourn. Ron Frederick.
Ron
Second.
Frederick, adjourned,
Vicky.
second.
Gary Rose, second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Carried. Good evening.